Hey guys, doing a little short but instructive tactical game, little lesson here. We'll keep this really short, okay? So I've got a Vienna game and Vienna Gambit accepted. And this is like a 1600 nearly rated opponent in blitz. Very interesting, the level of tactical ability that I'm finding up towards 1600. Okay, so we push the pawn, queen blocks, inaccurate because we do the same and unpin the pawn. The knight has to retreat anyway, and we play knight out here, obviously guarding the h4 square to prevent queen h4 check. We don't want that. Okay, and then we'll think about recapturing this pawn after d4. Okay, but black now launches a bid to defend the pawn with ideas like this. Okay, but d4 anyway. They play g5. Probably not the best use of their time right now to try and hang on to that pawn. I come in with a knight, hitting the queen, and queen retreats to d8. And now there is a very interesting tactic on the board. I push my bishop out first. I want to get my king castled. They now hit my knight. Now comes the point. Very interesting tactical idea here. Can you see it? Pause if you need to, and I will tell you in a few seconds. Okay, so the move that I find is knight to f6 check. Now, what's the point? Obviously, the queen can't take the knight because pawn takes. But if, and this is the whole thing about I've got my queen on the e-file, but black's queen has come out and then retreated back to d8, right? Now, king's in check. There are only two real moves. King moves forwards and loses castling rights, or knight takes. But if knight takes here, right, I have pawn takes, then my pawn is going to be on f6 and looking at e7. And white's in check. And the king cannot move to either side. So that would force, let's say, I mean, if the knight's off the board anyway, it would force either the bishop or the queen to block on e7 and be captured by the pawn. So very interesting. So black had to think about this and push the king out. I then come out with bishop e4, check, and now the king is going to be pushed out further. My next move is a blunder, right? Or a miss, let's say. So I play queen c4 check, thinking, what can possibly be wrong? Okay, but we now have d5, and I can't capture en passant because that pawn is the defender of that knight. Okay, and my opponent actually goes on to win this game. But let's rewind. Okay, instead of queen c4, this is your second test. Okay, pause if you need. What would you play here? Because this really is utterly fascinating. Okay, so I'm going to switch lines on, and I think the move here, there we go, yeah. Look at this. Pawn to d5. Check, right? King's in check. Now, so what you need to do is, in a position like this, you just go, well, what squares does the king have? Okay. Well, the king can currently go there or there. Right. But this move, pawn to d5, is in check. It can only go here, but if he goes here, right, then queen d3. So if king here, queen d3 is checkmate. Right? The queen's guarding these, this pawn is guarding this square, and this knight is guarding this one. Right? Fascinating. So what else can he do? C takes is the only other move, but then knight to d4 is also mate. What a beautiful finish to the game that would be on move 13. Right? Because the knight's guarding this and this, not that one. This and this, and the bishop and the pawn are guarding that. Bishop's guarding that. It's checkmate. Game over. That would have been a beauty. I missed it. And the reason is because I just went with instinct. I thought, surely there can be nothing wrong with giving another check. I knew the bishop's guarding all this, right? And I went with instinct alone, and I didn't back it up with a calculation. So, my bad. And if I'd have calculated, I don't know, it's still a tricky one, but this pawn move, wow. I mean, that's really elegant. But hey, there you go. So, a little bit of tactical training. Hope you enjoyed it. See you soon.